This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be talking about all sorts of shapes, circles and squares and triangles, because we're going to be going in a circular motion, trying to get to the middle of this. We are talking about circular reasoning. This is an abstract strategy game from Breaking Games. It's 2 to 4 players. Let's take a look. I'm going to show you how it's played, and then I'll see you on the other side. The object of the game is to be the first player to get all 3 of your pieces into the center of the board where it says circular reasoning, and you'll be moving your pieces closer to the middle as the game goes on, but first to get all 3 in the middle is the winner. You will decide who the start player is by any way you see fit, and you'll give that player the player tracker. It looks like this circular reasoning chip. Each round goes through 3 phases. The first phase, players are going to be moving a piece of theirs on or around the board. Secondly, we'll be moving these gateways. And then thirdly, we'll be giving the player tracker to the next player. Let's go through each of these phases one at a time. Now in the movement phase, each player, when it's their turn, is going to move one of their pieces. Now the pieces move different amounts. The triangle, because it has 3 sides, will move 3. The square, because it has 4 sides, will move 4, and the circle moves 2. When moving, once you decide whether to go clockwise or counterclockwise, you have to continue in that direction, so you cannot change directions. So, if I was taking this circle and I wanted to go 2, I would go 1, 2, because I decided to continue to go this way. The next player might go up and say 1, 2, 3, because with the triangle they decided to go this way. Now, if the green player decided to use the circle, he could have gone 1 and 2. There can never be 2 pieces of any type, your own or otherwise, on the same spot on the board, so you actually hop over. So this would have been 1, this would have been 2. Now let's suppose that this piece was actually here. This circle could have gone 1, 2, or they could have gone 1, and it jumps all the way over to the next open spot, and that would have been 2. You can never go into the next level without going through a gateway, which we'll talk about in just a moment. After each player has moved once, the gateways will move. You'll look at each level, and for every piece that is on that level, the gateway will always move clockwise. So in level 1, there's 3 pieces, so this will go 3 clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Level 2 and level 3, there's none, so these would not move. If there were pieces there, they would always move clockwise, equal to the amount of pieces on that level. After the gateways have moved, we will move the player tracker. Remember, this was given to the start player in the first round. Everyone took turns clockwise, and then after the last player, this will go clockwise, and that player will start first, and everything will go clockwise, just like the previous rounds. Now let's talk about these gateways. Let's just say it was the red player's turn. This is going to move 3 spaces. Again, you can choose clockwise or counterclockwise, but you have to stay that direction. This can go 3, so it would skip over this for 1, 2, 3. It can go through this gateway, assuming that it's not blocked. We'll get to more on that in just a moment. Now let's say hypothetically, if instead of this triangle, it was a square. The square moves 4. And let's just say hypothetically, the other gateway was there on 2. This one could go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go through more than one gate in one turn. When moving through a gate, sometimes you'll have more moves left. You have to continue the movement in the direction that you started. In this case, let's say I was the red square, and I'm going to be moving counterclockwise. I can go 4. So I would go 1, 2 through this gate, 3, 4. I could do something like that. But let's just say this gateway was like this, and my square was in the same spot. I would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. And that's how you move to and through gateways. Now once you moved through a gateway, you can never move back out. So I couldn't have gone 1, 2, 3. You can't, once you're through, you have to keep going and finishing your turn as normal. However, let's say your first move is to go through a gateway. In that case, when you do your first move with the square, I have 3 moves left. I can choose to go clockwise or counterclockwise because I haven't yet moved in either direction. Now there is blocking in this game, where normally this person is trying to get through the gateway. If there is a piece on the front side of the gateway, you cannot move through it. Likewise, if there's a piece behind the gateway trying to get through it, you cannot go through it. And of course, if they're both there, you obviously cannot go through it. Now these could be opponents, or it could be yourself. Maybe you are here and you're blocking yourself through there as well. In addition, you can be blocked from the player entrance. If there's a piece here, nobody from the outside could get in during the beginning of the game. Because the gateways move every round, once for every chip that's on that level, you might want to move to a previous level. For example, this red piece might want to go 1, 2, for example, using all the movement rules earlier. However, if it's there and there's another piece here, then obviously it blocks it going backwards as well. Now, once you've made it into this, you can still move out if you'd like. So for example, if this gateway is here, I could move myself back out. But of course, once again, if it was blocked by somebody else, you cannot get out. And the first player to get their third piece into the center is the winner. All right, well, there's circular reasoning. As you can tell, the rules are pretty simple. It's very abstract. You're trying to not only look at what you're doing now, but also looking moves ahead, looking at who's gonna get the first move the next turn, and all of that goes into thinking what you'll do. I like how it seems very simple, which it is very simple, but yet there's a lot of thinking that goes on to what you're gonna do this turn. Which piece are you gonna move? Where should I move? Where will this guy move? Where did this person just move? Am I gonna get the gates to align this turn? Will I be able to get it to align? Sometimes you're thinking multiple turns in ahead, but you never know what everyone else is gonna do. So I think it's a good, solid, excellent actual of an abstract game. I'm finding myself, I tend to say a lot, well, I'm not really into abstract games, but I've been finding myself saying this phrase a lot. I don't think I really like abstract games, but I like this one. And I keep saying this over and over, and this is another one. So maybe I do like abstract games. I need to just get over myself and just come to the fact that I do like abstract games. They're not my first pick of types of games to play, but I do enjoy them. And this one's just very simple. It's one of those ones that you could just teach to anybody at a coffee shop. Just pull them aside, it's people that don't play games, and within 2 minutes you're up and going trying to play. But there's definitely a lot of strategy and thoughtfulness that goes into each one of your turns. I like the way that you can block people. I like the way that you can go in and out of those gates on different turns, of course, but I like how sometimes you'll have to pull yourself, sometimes even out of the middle, to make sure the gateway moves enough spots to let your other person back in. You don't want to be the last person standing on a level, because that gate's only moving one at a time and it's going to take you a while to catch up. Lots of interesting things to balance here, and one I highly recommend, and because it's so easy to teach, and because there's a lot of good thinking there, this is definitely one, and I don't have too many abstract strategy games that I really enjoy, that I'm going to be keeping this one in my gaming library. And for that, let's induct it properly with a saxophone serenade.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for backing me on Kickstarter, making this season become a reality. I'd like to especially thank those here that have backed me at the credit level. Now, these video reviews are also available by audio on our podcast. It's the intros and the final thoughts on GameBoyGeek.com. Click podcast.